Hey, Jeff, it's so good to be talking with you. Thanks for taking some time out of your busy day to be on the show with us.
Hey, Matt. Good to be aboard. Good to see you again. It's been a while. I've been to many of your events in the past, which are always great, and met some great people there too. So,
Yes, you have, Jeff. You've been actually a guest speaker at a past workshop we had pre-COVID, pre-pandemic times. But we've been happy to get things back in person and doing in interactive events and things like that we've always known and loved pre-pandemic. And I'm sure you've been happy to get back to in interactive face-to-face happenings as well. I know that
absolutely.
InfoList has been an awesome thing that you put together several years ago. I like to hear about that. Can you dive into InfoList and how it started and how these events, like this pre-Oscar event coming up, where did the origins of that come from?
The pre-Oscar event is one of my bigger events throughout the year. We do a number of events. We do a pre-Oscars, a pre-Emmys, a pre-Comic-Con, and the idea is just to get great people together to network, to meet, to get their projects done, to help other people get their projects done. And they've grown to the point we get, literally like A-list writers and producers from huge blockbuster films, from Oscar-winning, Oscar-nominated films for the Oscar one. And, the Comic-Con one is one of my other pretty big ones. Like Stan Lee's company has been a part of it every year. Writers or producers of X-Men, Iron Man, Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy all come to that one. Similar with the Emmys, we get a bunch of big TV people. And even like with my Oscars, even though the focus is on film and film history, there's still a ton of like major TV people that come, people from music, from fashion. We've got everything from like record producers who do stuff with major acts like BTS coming, record executives who've worked with everyone from Journey and Bruce Springsteen to more current acts as well. So many. I'm blanking on the names of everybody, but I mean, we've got iconic guys like David Zucker, who's literally created an entire genre of filmmaking. But he actually created the whole spoof type of films with like Airplane and Naked Gun and those kind of things.
Exactly.
The movie and things like that. So he's an icon, and he's just an awesome guy, and he comes to many of my events, and so looking forward to seeing him at this one. And then this one we've got also like writers of Oscar nominated films like Meet the Parents. We've also got David Hayter, who did like X-Men films. So we've got a bunch of big people coming. I'm really looking forward to it. We've got red carpet and presses there, but what's different, I think, about these events than many other events, like you can go to like panels and stuff at Comic-Con and see some of these people, but like if they're not like ushered off stage before you even get to talk to them, or in the cases where they do hang out and talk to people, it's like a line of people and you get to meet them for like 10 seconds. Here's my card. What can you do for me? Okay, thanks. Bye. But what's great about these events is not only do you get to just hang out in a relaxed, fun atmosphere, you can talk to them for 10 seconds, 10 minutes, or 3 hours if you want. As long as they're not like, why are you still talking to me? But in general, it's just relaxed, fun atmosphere where you get to really meet, really make an actual connection with these people, which makes all the difference. Because making stuff happen in Hollywood is not about, here's my card, what can you do for me? It's about making real connections, a real relationship, getting to know the actual person.
I love how you say that, Jeff. And like just people know, like I've been to your events in the past, and it's exactly, I'll say directly from my personal experience, this is the environment that you've created. When we come together in these environments, it's all about how do you present that environment, and you absolutely do a fantastic job of making it feel relaxed, comfortable, very professional. But yes, you can have these conversations, and I certainly have. I have networked and met a lot of people I know now from your past events. So I want to give you that credit. And we're very excited to be at this one coming up, this pre-Oscar one on Thursday. That's coming right up, Thursday the 9th at Sky Bar. This is a great location. How did you first get started doing them here? Because I think that I think you're onto something. I think this is the place that kind of feels exactly like what we're talking about here, that comfortable, professional, relaxed place. How did you get into that Sky Bar environment to begin with?
I'd been doing events for a while, and I was always finding out about new venues and different places to try things. I'd actually met some of the management of Sky Bar. They happened to be at Sundance Film Festival where I was, and they were involved in one of the events up there, and we started talking, and like, oh, you do events, da, 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 da. And so I thought, I'm like, all right, I'll do it. And it went really well. I realized, yeah, people actually really like that venue. It's a great venue because it's kind of a unique layout. It's like you've got kind of the pool outdoor vibe, but there's also like upstairs, kind of the hut, kind of like cabana, where it's a little more fancy schmancy. So it's kind of this great combination of outdoors and relaxed, but fancy at the same time. And you've got like a nice view of the whole city from the deck. And so, yeah, I've tried other venues, but somehow people seem to like Sky Bar more, so I keep going back. So I'll give them what they want.
Good. Very good. And you have a lot of people, they return to the next one because they are doing like what I'm saying. They're meeting people. They're elevating their own network. As they move and advance their own careers, they're able to actually have real relationships with these people that are professionals in the industry that we all want to kind of build our careers. So I just, again, I applaud you for creating an environment for people to be able to do that. So
yeah. Well, there's a lot of people return and come to many events, which is great. Because one of the great things about it is, maybe there's someone you met at the last one and you get to see them at the next one and you reconnect. And whether it's, one of the, big name special guests, to reconnect with them has a lot of value, obviously. But also just reconnecting with the other general people. It's a good mix.
excellent. So yeah, like I said earlier, Jeff, I'm so excited to be at another one of these. This is actually the first one I'm going to be attending since the pandemic, the lockdown and everything. And like I saw you not able to do these events for a while, and it was frustrating that that we couldn't do our events. I was saying you couldn't do yours. A lot of people couldn't. How did that feel for you, like being that InfoList and these events? They're so important that they're interactive, that you don't do them on a Zoom thing, that you actually have people face to face. How did that affect you, and how did you maneuver through that?
Yeah, well, it was because for those who don't know, InfoList it's an entire platform, because I don't just host events, but it all started with I post everything from entertainment industry jobs and opportunities for filmmakers and writers, casting stuff. A lot of big shows, commercials cast through me. So it's everything from casting to events, jobs and opportunities, to the networking events that I produce. But it was right when, Zoom became like the thing, and everyone was on Zoom like all day long, every day. And it was already evident that like people had kind of some of the Zoom burnout and weren't really looking to do so much of that anymore.
Yeah.
And there were a couple platforms I was looking at because I wanted to do something that was a little different, a little unique, because that's kind of one of my criteria. Even my live events, I think there really aren't any other ones like them. So I wanted my online component to be the same way. I wasn't really finding the technology that allowed me to do that was like reliable.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, I'm going to wait it out for a little bit, see what happens. And then, lucky it took a little while, but events came back. Our first event back after COVID was, well, to put it mildly, we got a huge response. Everyone was just as excited as me to get back. And yeah, it was probably one of my biggest attended events ever. And unfortunately, it was even too big attended because we couldn't get everyone in. There was literally a line that filled up the entire lobby of the hotel and filled up the entire parking lot of the hotel all the way down the street. So everyone was really eager to get back out. And so while my apologies to everyone at that event, which was a much larger than expected turnout. But now, over the last year, things have kind of normalized again, and we're kind of back to normal. So we'll be full, but we won't be so full we can't get everyone in. So, so looking forward to that, and looking forward to seeing everyone on the 9th when you come.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we're telling our Sherwood community about it, and anybody else who has or just stumbling on this right now, this InfoList event put on by Jeff Gunn, this is a remarkable opportunity to come together before the Oscars and network, celebrate, gear up for the big event, the event that we all want to be actually at the Oscars. And some people actually are going from your event to the Oscars that weekend. So it's a great place to be inspired, build relationships. How can people find this event and get tickets? Can they still get tickets?
Yes, you can. And to kind of elaborate a bit on what you said before is, because I actually do it a few days before the Oscars. There are like some like Oscars day parties, but I find it's actually much better to do it a couple days before, because then the big names are actually available. If you're doing it on Oscars day, yeah, they're at Vanity Fair, they're at, the governor's ball. They're not going to come to your thing. But I do it this way because actually, and just this morning, actually, I can't say who yet, but two pretty major celebrities have said, have RSVP'd. I still have to confirm, make sure they're coming and all that. But so got my fingers crossed for that. But either way, we've still got a huge lineup of amazing guests. And you can all get your tickets if you go to InfoList.com, InfoList.com. And then you'll see right at the top will be the pre-Oscar soiree. You click that, and there'll be all the information on get discount tickets. We have some discounts available for people. So it's going to be a great night with a lot of great people. So InfoList is... they've grown a lot over the years, because when I first started doing events, they were, I wouldn't say small, but they were like nice sized, but just intimate mixers. We didn't really have special guests. It was just getting industry people together. As they started growing, more and more like famous people just started like showing up. And then we started listing them as special guests in advance. And then as I started listing special guests, and other people started, hey, I see you have special guests. Can I be one too? And so now they've grown into a pretty big deal. And one of my favorite things about InfoList is actually I had no intention of creating anything. It actually started, I used to make my living in the industry as a composer, writing music for films, TV shows, video games, and whatnot. And I was just doing a lot of networking with that, meeting a lot of people, and being a helpful friend. I would just let my friends know, oh, hey, I saw this job. I know you're looking. Here's the info. Send them a resume if you want. Or here's a casting thing to my actor friends. And somehow I became known as the guy who kind of knew what was going on and started sending more and more things to more and more people. And then people started reaching out to me. Hey, Jeff, you know everyone, we're hiring. Can you send this out to your group? Sure, why not? And then the casting people found me. And so it was growing from there. And then I was actually growing so much that someone had actually built a website for me with the idea that this was supposed to, because it was actually getting in the way. It was so many emails, it's getting in the way of earning a living as a composer, because I'm now sending out emails full time. So someone had built a website for me with the idea this was supposed to save me time and automate the process a bit. Big mistake, because that just made the whole thing blow up, and then it was taking 10 times as much time. But since then, so it's grown, and now it's actually become my full-time job, and it does pay my bills, so I'm thankful for that. And thank you to everyone to support it and make it possible for me to keep doing all this and connecting everyone. But yeah, so that's the history of InfoList in a nutshell, and it's how we're able to bring you the great events that we now bring you. So
very cool. Love it, Jeff. And yeah, we're telling everyone about this thing. Cannot wait to reconnect with you in person. It's been so long, and we're just excited to come out and be part of this thing on the 9th. Right before Oscar weekend and the big event on Sunday. So, but it's also your birthday you mentioned. So that's the thing. It's like a Jeff's birthday pre-Oscar all-in-one arena. So that's cool. Happy birthday, Jeff, by the way. I have to say that.
I keep the main focus on the Oscars, but we slide in a little bit. It's my birthday,
I love it. I love it. Okay. Well, Jeff, thanks so much for taking time to talk with us today. And again, we look forward to seeing you on Thursday at the event. I'm just happy that you're representing what this entertainment industry should be about. It should be about engaging and face to face and building real relationships and building our careers in the process. So yeah, thanks again for doing that and inspiring so many in our community.
Well, you're very welcome, and glad to be on here with you today. Good to see you, Matt. It has been too long, but looking forward to seeing you in person on the 9th. Awesome. And looking forward to seeing everyone.
Great. Thanks so much, Jeff.